Not only Cole Sickafus, are you the Cole Sickafus tonight? As we discussed before we went live, you're also Cole Sickafus, just the regular one. But the Cole Sickafus is part Sasquatch, and that's probably why you're blurry. Is just you're at that level. Or maybe the Cole Sickafus is in witness protection. Regular Cole Sickafus isn't in witness protection, but that alter ego of yours is in witness protection. So your voice is going to get scrambled on this podcast, and you're just going to be fuzzy.
Yeah, maybe I should be the other Cole today.
I don't know which one I like better. All right, let me get out here. I gotta get to where I can see us. Oh, there you are. You texted on the stream that we were texting on. That's pretty cool. Man, I keep opening the wrong thing. What am I trying to do? Here we go. I gotta make. I have to change the security settings on the post so that y'all can share it. There we go. Audience changed. Thanks for jumping on, Cole. Not to downplay you, because I'm excited to BS with you just about hunting and fishing stuff and Boundary Water trips. Brandon Vaughn was supposed to be on tonight, and I was looking forward to catching up with him, because every time I see him, we just are like, "What's up?" And then we just like cross in passing, so I never really get to BS with him that much. But he had some family stuff come up, so I got to reschedule that boy. And in turn, I was like, well, I guess we should probably talk about our week-long canoe trip that we got coming up. And I think this is a good second episode with you on the show, because you've been on the show before, and the last time you were on, we talked in great length about the goals of our business and kind of the why behind it, and you extrapolated a whole bunch about how the business is a function to help you hunt and fish, and that was how you got into it in the first place. And so even though you had a bunch of people quit on you and depart for various reasons over the last month, you're like, "That's all right. We're still going on this canoe trip, because this is what I have the business for, anyway, is to go do badass shit in the outdoors." Do you still now? Where's the business at as we get into a week off? Is it in a good spot for you to be gone for a week, or are you just going to come back to a big shit show?
No, it's definitely not in a good spot for me to be leaving, but it couldn't be in a better situation to like what a great scenario to test out my systems and everything that I have,
Yeah, you'll know what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, even in the worst case scenario, I'm still gonna have my business when I get back, so I'm not too awfully worried about what's gonna happen while I'm gone. In my eyes, all I'm gonna do is figure out where I need to spend most of my time on which systems and what needs fixed the most.
I had over the summer months, I had the most helpful, frustrating experience, which was when I was departing Blue Skies, I couldn't start my new business, and it didn't make sense for me to jump in and plug all the holes in that business model, because the team needed to be the ones doing it, especially with me leaving. And so for 3 months, I wasn't fixing stuff, but I was watching all the problems that happened when I didn't rush to save them and stop them from happening. And holy shit, was that useful for building Best Damn Bookkeeping. I could just build it right from the ground up and not build those holes into the boat in the first place. And so there is it's frustrating to have to rebuild some stuff and redo some stuff, but what a great mechanism to find out where the holes in the boat are.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think so I have 3 new techs right now. They're only a couple weeks in, and then I have a VA that's very fresh. She's only a couple weeks in as well. So I was trying to train new technicians and a new admin all at the same time, leading up 2 weeks prior to leading up to a trip where I'm not going to have any service for 5 or 6 days. So
it'll be really interesting. It'll be really interesting to see what their problem solving skills are like when they can't ask you a question. I think that'll be
I've been trying to build if this then that resources for them to use, especially my admin. I have a pile of resources in our training drive at Google of if this then that, if this then that.
And And if this and if this and if this, then burn it down.
Yeah. And then push this button. This button deletes everything.
Yeah. Hang up the phone and don't answer it again. Act like we're out of business. I'll be back eventually. No, man, it is like a blessing in disguise. It's vacation, but it's like I've always just been an advocate. I don't know if advocate's the right word. I've always promoted the fact that there's no such thing as vacation. There's just work displacement. You just end up doing twice as much stuff in advance and twice as much stuff afterward. Like all you're doing is displacing the work. The work still needs to get done. You just do a bunch of before you leave and a bunch after you get back to as if you had worked the whole time. But I do think mentally and for seeing where your system is. Holy shit, are you okay over there? What happened? That was the loudest noise I've ever heard in these headphones.
Oh shoot.
It sounded like you were sanding my face. Like I suppose your microphone's probably like on your camera. That's probably
I thought my camera was dirty. I was trying to clean it.
It's not dirty anymore. But maybe that's why you were so Sasquatchy. You're less Sasquatchy now. Yeah, you're less.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah. You did pretty good. You did pretty good there.
Here you go.
Yeah. So, and I do think I was talking about this on my show earlier, and I'm always like a broken record with this on the podcast, but I think there's a thing that attracts business owners to the outdoors, in that we're suckers for punishment and for just doing hard shit. That's why we chose to run a business and just get punched in the face over and over again. And so, I think especially with like hunting and fishing, they're right up there with just like mountain biking or doing endurance runs or snowboarding and skiing, where it's like you're putting yourself in a position where you need to be like physical, aggressive, make quick decisions, and there's a really good chance you get hurt. And you're probably gonna like have some weird infection from a fish fin that got into your finger. Or last year, was it Aaron that did you drop the thing on Aaron's foot? Somebody dropped the thing on Aaron's foot, that log that landed on Aaron's foot.
That was the Cole Sycophus.
Was that the Cole Sycophus, or was that just Cole Sycophus?
That was just Cole. Yeah,
that asshole.
He's not coming this year.
No, it's just the Cole Sycophus. Yeah, not bringing him along. But I do think this is like the perfect business owner trip. I don't remember if it was Clay or Derek Davis had said after our last ice fishing trip that you bailed on because you did like some cooler fishing stuff. Well, not cooler. It was colder where we were. You did some warmer fishing stuff. It might have been cooler, but it wasn't colder. But one of them had said like we should do an outdoorsy business mastermind. So I'm thinking of I've already been working on a name. I think it's just OBO, Outdoor Business Owners. And I think we do an outdoors business event once a quarter. No agenda. It's like a business mastermind without the mastermind. It's just a bunch of business owners going hunting or fishing. And we're going to talk about business the whole time because that's what we do anyway, because we're business owners. But all the value not all the value, but a lot of the value at conventions and other events comes when you're just like at the bar having a beer or BSing with people. It doesn't always come in the structured stuff. And so I think we need to have structured, unstructured stuff. Joe says he's in. Greg Matthews says, hopefully this doesn't turn into Brokeback Mountain too. Greg, if Tor jumps on tonight, I can't guarantee that it won't a little bit, like Tor's got shorter shorts than you ever want to see on a guy. And he rarely has a shirt on. That's just kind of his vibe. He's that guy. It's like 40 degrees and the dude's running around without any clothes on in camp. It's crazy. Joe says, yes, Joe's in for the OBO, Outdoor Business Owners. But I think having no agenda is a great thing for a business event. It's like wide open and you just kick things around. You have great ideas, especially a Boundary Waters trip. Caleb's been to the Boundary Waters. So I've had a couple of epic trips to the Boundary Waters. You haven't lived until you've eaten poor man's lobster, like boiled in salt water in the backcountry in a downpour. I usually bring enough oil to fry fish for 5 months. I think we'll go two gallons of oil on this one, Cole. I'm thinking. I think it's a 2-gallon trip since there's only 4 of us. So I haven't boiled it, but I fried a lot of it up there. A lot of fish fries up in the Boundary Waters. But I think we need the outdoor business owner group. Here's my rough agenda. Joe, if you're still listening, you can give this one a thumbs up. Cole Sycophus. I like your opinion. Not interested in Cole's opinion, but the Cole, very interested in that opinion. I think you'd have if we just started now, like if this was the start of the year, Boundary Waters trip, I think is a good one because you can get like 8 business owners in the campsite. 8's a lot, but you can do 6 or 8 man trips. And so if you had more numbers than that, you could just add to the total going in at different sites, whatever. I think when you get into, so that would be like your summer trip. When you get into the fall, maybe this would be like the spring/summer trip, maybe late summer, depending on when the fish are biting. You do like an ocean fishing trip somewhere for a few days. And then fall, you would do a duck hunting trip, I think. I don't think you could do I think it'd be tough to do a mountain hunting trip or even a whitetail trip. Like our Kentucky trips are fun, but we don't get to hang out as much because you're splitting up a lot. Like Kentucky trip is fun, but I think if the point of it was that business owners get together and just like have a whole lot of time to hang out, I think a duck hunting trip like at a lodge would be super fun because you're just BSing.
Yeah, it can't be like something where you have to like put a lot of thought and energy into it because that'll just like take away from all the thought and energy going into the mastermind part. But if it could be like a mindless activity in the outdoors, like perfect. Like catch crappie bullshit all day long.
Yeah. And then I think you could do the ice fishing thing that I do in the winter. You get a bunch of people there. Joe says some hog hunting. You could totally do that. Some marlin in Cabo, some hog hunting. So I think you do like a quarterly outdoorsy event. Ice fishing up in Minnesota every year for sure. That's like a gimme because you can fit 6-8 dudes in a fish house. That's a good one. Boundary Waters is a good. Boundary Waters takes a little more gear. Greg says cougar hunting in Los Angeles. That's a good one. That's a real good one. I don't know. Cole, now that you're all tied up, I don't know that you're as good of a cougar hunter as you used to be, but I'm sure you used to get out there and track a cougar or two, or attract, maybe not track, but attract a cougar or two. Sounds pretty similar actually. Either way, I bet you're in there.
Just fight them off now. It's the only difference.
Yeah. They scratch you up. You get a couple scratches. You hang in there. So I think we got to do that. I don't know exactly when I'm going to start that, but the thoughts are happening. Maybe we'll work on it up in the Boundary Waters. Maybe this will be a thing to chew on in the Boundary Waters. I think the only expense, I can do the bookkeeping for it. It would have to be its own business so that we could write stuff off. And then we'll just pay dues and I'll do the bookkeeping so that we can like afford, everybody will pay for their own like stuff and trip, but we'll have to like get a VA to what you had said on a episode last week. Like, hey, we need a VA to work on tag draws. We'll have a VA that can work on like coordinating the trip and setting stuff up. And the only way you have to pay more is if you sign up and then you back out. Because damn it, that's frustrating. That was eating me up on this trip. It was like, Jesus, like every time we started with 8 and we're down to 4. And that was with some subs in between. So that's the only time you get penalized. If you sign up and then you back out, then you got to pay a fee. Then you have to pay for all the bush lights for everybody else. That's the rules. Yeah. That's the bush light budget. We'll have a separate bush light budget on the P&L. Be like
we can do different stuff each year too, it doesn't always have to be the same thing.
It doesn't have to be, but I think having like a staple, like a fallback, like here's where we go if we don't have a different thing, and then people can kind of suggest and like host what they want to do. Because I think that's the hard thing is like ice fishing, somebody's got to like put it on, right? Or like Boundary Waters, somebody's got to file the permits, somebody's got to know the outfitter and like book everything. We're gonna have a VA do it. But still, like, you got to have the trucks to get where you need to go and all that shit. Depends.
That's when you make it like a foundation and do like you have like the Northeast chapter and then you have like the Southwest chapter.
Once we get big enough, once Oboe is big enough, then we'll start doing that. I gotta open my window here. It's hot as fuck in this room. Hold on, bear with me. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still here. My window's broke. Okay. Woo. It's hot in here, man. So here's the hell's going on out there. Here's what I'm curious about, Cole. Last year was your first Boundary Waters trip, but you're no stranger to outdoorsy stuff. Give me a score. Give me like a whatever scale you want. Kind of like when people sign up for bookkeeping demos, I ask them to like score how excited, how stoked they are for a bookkeeping demo, and I let them make up their own scale. Make up your own scale. How do you feel like it went last year?
Being my first year, like if I like, I can only compare it to trips that I've been on and other hunting trips and fishing trips and stuff. So, I'm gonna put it at a solid. I mean, I think it's every bit of a 9.5 on a scale of 10. Like,
Classic.
I genuinely believe that if anybody has any outdoorsman in them, like you have to do something in the Boundary Waters at some point in your life, because that's the closest to like the true wilderness that I've ever experienced. And
do you think it's like more true wilderness than like a Western hunt? Similar. Like you could probably get just as far out of civilization out west.
Yeah, I mean, to each his own. I mean, they each have their own struggles. Like I've been 16 miles back in Colorado for, I mean, the 1 year was like 20 days, and that is its own like craziness, just because you're clear up in the mountains and all you see is trees all around you. But then the Boundary Waters, what I like about it is like, man, you're in the middle of nowhere. You have zero cell service, and it's not like you can just, well, I'm gonna start walking out. Like, no, you have to paddle, then you have to portage, and you have to get your gear set up specific ways to paddle and do all the traveling portion of it. Like, it's just it's its own struggle. It's different from a backcountry trip.
We do it a little bit different when we go in the Boundary Waters, because a lot of people go like really light and they bounce around all over the place, and we go in really heavy and we just get to where we want to go and then we post up.
Yeah.
Don't judge us, but this year we've got an inflatable couch. I'm pretty excited to see how that inflatable couch goes, and I really want to roll that baby out in the water and paddle that around for a little bit, see if we can catch a fish on the couch. What would be a real bummer is if we're out on the couch having a cocktail and we're fishing and a hole punctures the couch, and then we're just dragging a wet sack of plastic back up to shore. We shouldn't go out far. I don't plan on going out far, but if that couch gets punctured, we're gonna be, we're gonna be going under. We're gonna be capsized.
Yeah, especially like pretty much all we fish with is like spoons and rapalas. Like,
there's a lot of hooks flying around. There's a lot of hooks flying around. I got the dipsies all rigged up. I got a pile of spoons ready to go. Was that you that had loaded up on some spoons? Was that you, Paul?
I did. I had a gift card, and I couldn't think of anything better to spend it on other than a pile of spoons and rapalas and jigging wraps and everything.
Yeah, we're going hard. Joseph, this would be a really good one actually. Bear in Canada. I live so damn close to Canada, and I've never been in Canada. And all I do is hunt and fish. I don't get it.
Yeah, you have.
Huh? Oh yeah, not like just sniffed it. I just peed over the border.
I think we can move over for a second.
Yeah, you're right. We did cross. We did go over there. We tried to catch a Canadian lake trout. We didn't succeed, but we'll have to do that another time. 1 year, I think we caught a Canadian smallmouth bass. We're pretty sure our line was right on the edge, and we're like, that fish had to have swum over from Canada to bite. Well, you could tell because it had a Labatt's with it. Like the fish was just hauling around Labatt's, and we were like, guys, it had to be a Canadian fish for sure, obviously. So last year we did, I want to say, was it 7 portages on the way in? And we started with a portage, which was weird. It's the only one I've ever like not started at the water. Like we had a 3/4 mile carry all of our shit to the first piece of water. That was a long walk, especially when you have to make it down and back 3 times. It was a long.
Yeah, and that was my first impression of the Boundary Waters. Like that was my very first introduction to the Boundary Waters. Was
no,
hey,
that was
our gear.
that wasn't quite it. The first impression really was, okay, we're unpacking the truck and there's 1,000 mosquitoes just by my face. That was the first at that trailhead where it was just like, oh my God, I'm just going to eat this can of off to get these mosquitoes off of me.
Yeah, we got there super early, then stood there for like 45 minutes with no canoes.
No, we started hauling our stuff. We started carrying our stuff around, and then we were just kind of hoping that the canoes would show up, before we had like all the stuff all the way at the other side of the portage and like waiting around hoping they were going to show. Because at that point, I don't think we had cell service, or it was so early in the morning. We tried to get them to drop off early in the morning. But I remember I think the most painful part, I mean, we went 7-8 hours of just hiking, carrying, paddling, hiking, carrying, paddling, 7 portages, which for those that don't know what a portage is, that's where you get to shore and then you got to empty your canoe, carry all your shit, carry your canoe over to the next piece of water. So we had to do that 7 times, different lengths each time. And when we got to the final body of water, that was probably the biggest body of water. There were a few campsites we really wanted to get to. And when you're in the Boundary Waters, you reserve an entry point. They let so many people in at a specific entry point, but you don't get to reserve your campsite. So it's a free for all. You're just paddling, hoping the campsites that you want are available. And so we haul ass. Tor and I take off. We left the rest of you guys back at the landing, and we just took off because we saw there was another canoe that was already underway, and we were we got to pass them. So Tor and I just started hauling ass. It was a group of 9, and it was 3-person canoes, 9 people, and they were clearly looking for a campsite. And the minute we blew past them, they clearly realized we were racing them for a campsite. And then it was just an all-out race. But we proceeded to check 6 campsites, and all were taken. There were a pile of good ones there, and all of them were taken, except for one around an island, and Tor and I went to the wrong island to check it. And then when we realized we were at the wrong island, we backtracked to that island, and we were so much faster than them, we almost beat them back to that other island, but they just rounded the corner before us, and they got that open campsite. It was a total blessing in disguise. At the time, it was the worst thing that happened, because then we had a mile or 2 paddle. Is Jai coming on? Jai, are you in here? I see Jai's in the house. Producer man in the background hanging out.
Just changing some stuff.
What's up, background? Good morning.
Cole?
Good morning to you.
What's up, Cole?
What's up, dude?
It's the Cole.
Cheers.
He's the Cole today.
Going out today.
There you go. Whose dog is that? Is that Jai's dog or is that Cole's dog? Somebody's got dogs.
That's my dog.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know who's got the dog. What was the one
I just changed the background. Sorry.
Sneaky. Yeah, Tor and I we were so dead tired and just eroded from paddling our asses off, and then to not get that campsite after an hour or 2 of just hauling ass to campsite to campsite to campsite. And then we had to go into the wind for 2 miles to check the one good campsite that was left. Well, you guys dicked around at some island filling up your water bags. I don't even know what the hell you were doing. Just circle jerking something.
Oh, you do. You just said what we were doing. We were just dicking around.
Yeah. And Tor and I hauling ass a long shot 2 miles out, cross country, into the wind, into 2-foot waves. And we're both, you can tell now because now you know who Tor is. I've never seen Tor unhappy and disheveled, except for that last 30 minutes crossing that couple mile stretch into those waves. He was mad. He was grumpy. I've never seen that guy grumpy. He's never been grumpy in his entire life, except for going across that. We were just so beat. And then we got there and we were this is the best campsite ever. It was worth all the heartache. But I feel we rolled in at 2, 3 o'clock, and I don't think any of us, we never got back in a canoe that day. I think we just fished from shore and drank cocktails because we were just so beat. It was brutal.
Yeah, it was definitely way harder going in than I expected, honestly.
Yeah. That's about as far as I think we can handle going in a day. I think 8 hours of hauling, especially how much shit we haul and how fast we go. We covered a lot of ground in 8 hours. Granted, there was a lot of dicking around on that last lake, but I think it's good for us to know that, like, that's as hard as you can go for as long as you can go. And then you better stop. Better have a damn place to stop.
Yeah.
This year it's like 4 to 5 hours. It'll like we'll put in, and then it'll feel like we just got there. And you'll be like, you sissies, this was too easy compared to last year. And I think it's four portages this year.
It'll suck, but I guess it won't suck. I'm so excited to start fishing. Like, I'm excited that we're getting there earlier in the day. Like, hopefully maybe around noon or earlier. We're at camp, we're getting set up and everything, and then we can try to catch an evening bite because fishing up there is priceless. But I'm looking at our track from last year. From start to finish was 8 hours and 19 minutes, and we covered a complete distance of 15.5 miles.
If you guys did 15 miles, Tor and I must have done 18.
You guys did at least another 2-3 miles
like
more.
Because we went like a mile or two out to check all those islands. Then we looped back to check the backside of like the one big island. That's where the clowns beat us to. And then we had to go all the way like long shot out there. We made just a big old triangle. Can't see nothing on the screen that you're showing, but I remember it like it was yesterday. Oh, yeah. A lot of ground covered. It does just always blow my mind when I look at a map of up there, because I'm just like, so many places to fish. There's so many lakes. It's like, and think about just all the huge fish you paddle over to get where you're going. Like, you probably paddled over 10, 30-inch walleyes on your way out there. And how many lake trout did we mark? And we got what, like 2-3 bites? I'm still mad about that one that broke off our purple spoon, the bastard. I'm
excited though. I don't know why. I've been watching so many videos on jigging for lakers. So
do you got baits for jigging? What are you gonna jig your spoons, or you got
jigging wrap?
Oh, you jigging wrap for them?
Yeah, I was watching these guys on YouTube. They caught some giants on jigging wraps, marking them on the fish finder, stopping over top of them, letting it hit the bottom, and then
I got some jigging wraps. Let's do it. What depth are they fishing? What depth are they fishing?
They were catching them at like 20 feet.
Okay.
In June.
Yeah, normally when we've seen them in 20 feet, it's been like mid to late May. If it was a colder year, they might be in 20 feet. I don't think we're going to find them in 20 feet. My guess is we're going to find them in like 40 to 50. But we'll, like, with the jigging wrap, you can get down 40 to 50 feet pretty quick too. I have seen, like, ice fishing, I've seen them do like big white plastics, big jigs with big white like thumper tails. So we can mess around with some shit for sure. And we'll have time. Like, what time are you getting here on Saturday? Like 7, 8 o'clock or something at night?
I have no idea, to be honest.
I know you're getting in sometime Saturday evening.
I'll be there on Saturday.
Yeah. I'll have, but if I remember correctly, I thought you were getting in at like 7 or something. I'll have Friday afternoon. My wife and kiddos are heading out of town, so I'll have Friday afternoon and pretty much all day Saturday to like do any gear runs that we need to do. So I'm thinking maybe you got to get some big plastics and some big jigs just for messing around with it. I do like trolling for them. That lake, I do want to troll at least like one big lap because it's so long and so big. It's just like a racetrack. And just to see them all, like, I like casting and jigging and stuff like that from a pure fishing standpoint. But when I'm up there and there's so much to see, I like trolling because it's like a smooth, easy way to cover a lot of ground and just see more stuff and like get more visual experiences. And last year we were doing that, and you got that like 25, 26-inch walleye, and we were just kind of like cruising randomly, checking out new space, and all of a sudden you're like, holy shit. And
one hammered it. I think we were heading back to the camp at that point too.
Nah, I don't know. We were like back. I mean, we're heading back, but we were still like going the wrong way. We were like heading up between some islands, just doing shit. But that is I like trolling, but I like trolling up there even more just for the sake of covering the ground. I think I've got 5 dipsies with, so we've got enough for everybody and then a backup. And then I've got some like smaller ones that are good for like going 20 feet down. So we'll see. We'll have plenty of shit to get some spoons down there. in worst case, the first time we did it with spoons, I just threw a shitload of weights on, like just sinker after sinker after sinker, and they probably got down like 30 feet on a spinning rod, and we were catching fish in like 80 feet of water. They would swim up and hit that. We didn't get any big ones. Maybe there were bigger ones down there deeper, but they're good fried up. I do like me a fried up lake trout. So we'll see. The lake we're on, I'm assuming we get a campsite on the lake on Gaskin. The lake we're on doesn't have Lakers in it. We got to go one lake over. So it'll be like a day trip to get over there. We'll probably do like a day trip, shore lunch, try to catch some pike and some Lakers over there, do some shore lunch action.
Yep.
I know Tor's going to want to shoot for the 2 fish fry a day quota. I don't know that my heartburn tolerance can handle 2 fish fries a day. But I'm always game for trying. You got to remind me Sunday before we leave, we got to pull some venison out of the freezer. Pack in some frozen back straps. And then the first night we'll have surf and turf. We'll fry up some venison and we'll fry up some fish. Last year I totally forgot to grab venison. I did shoot a turkey this last week. Did you see my turkey? I shot a fucking turkey.
Yeah.
Finally got a turkey. I haven't shot a turkey. This isn't no shit. I haven't shot a turkey in 14 years.
Really?
Mostly because I just haven't hunted them, which I don't know why. That was a fucking blast this year. Like embarrassing amount of times I actually went out hunting for turkeys. And I don't know if I told you this either, but that was my 4th time because I had missed the first 3 times out. Like with a shotgun, Cole. I had missed.
I did not know that.
Like hunting cracks me up. Like when we were in Kentucky, I shot a buck at 48 yards and then I shot a doe at 60 with a bow. And then I'm out turkey hunting at 20 yards. I can't hit a fucking turkey with a shotgun.
Turkeys are tough though. Your pattern's small, So I guess not 20 yards would be pretty spread out.
Yeah, they were 20 to 30 yards. They were they were as sweet spot as you can get. It's not even a super tight choke. 20 to 30 yards, it's probably a basketball. It should be like so lights out. It should be so lights out. It's embarrassing. Here's what happened. It's my grandpa's old gun, and at some point the bead got knocked off, and so we put like an attachable glow bead on it, but it's huge, and so it sits high up. And this is like hunter's mistake number 1 is I didn't shoot it before I went out hunting. I was like, oh, it's a shotgun. Put the turkey choke in, point it at the thing, go boom, right? The first one I missed wasn't like the bird was my gun got caught on the coffee mug in the chair, and so the bird got hung up in like we were sitting inside of a blind. The bird saw my buddy moving, and so the birds were already moving. So I was like shooting at them while they were going, and I was like leaning out the blind.
Yeah.
So that one didn't trigger me to be like, I should really shoot my gun again. That one was just like, oh, I rushed it, right? I didn't have time to aim. I was like caught, and then I was leaning, and I just rushed it. And they were just jakes, and so it was like, whatever. The next time, I was sitting with Danny and Reggie, in like 5 minutes, like some jakes went strolling by, and I'm not picky. I just want some damn turkey meat in the freezer. I see a jake head pop up over a log, and I shoot, and I just see him like running, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And so I couldn't really tell where I missed, but it was to the right of me. And so it was that awkward, like trying to move slowly and turn to the right. And so I'm just like in my head, I'm just like, I must have, been torqued too much and had a bad aim. The next morning, Danny and I went out. My oldest daughter and I were sitting, and this was cool. I'd never had this happen before, but we set up not like in the dark. It wasn't quite broad daylight, I should say. It was closer to daylight than it was dark. And so I was creeping in thinking the turkeys would probably already be down. And I'm just like looking to hopefully we don't bump a bird or something. And we sat down, and all of a sudden, like I heard a bird here. I heard a bird there. And then I heard a gobble right the fuck behind us. And some toms flew down right behind us, and we were sitting against a big log, and they came around the log to the left perfectly, went into the decoys. There was a hen in the decoys already. Like a hen flew down and like landed in our decoys and scared the shit out of us. And then she was getting nervous. So the toms kind of got nervous, but at least Danny got to see 2 toms, like just doing the chest puff. Like, yeah, I'm coming in here. I'm going to fuck some stuff up. And they're just waddling down together. But then they got nervous and they started coming back, and at like 20 yards, straight to the left, where it's just like, I'm on it. I've got the turkey's head right above my bead, and I can see its whole body like take the blow. And the turkey ran off, never got it. But like I just body shot the shit out of that bird. So then I went, that was the third miss. Then I went back and I hung some like paper towel off a tree and I shot it at 20 yards and I was 12 inches low. So every time I was just like body shooting or just missing low on these birds. I'm surprised they had legs left. You know, I guess I'm forward of its legs. So I wasn't like blowing their legs off. But the one I got this weekend, I just used my dad's gun. And that did the trick. Popped him in the head. So I was debating, like, should I bring some turkey meat along, fry up some turkey? I got a sweet turkey recipe. But I think I gotta feed that to the fam. I think that one's for the fam. Since it's the first bird in 14 years, the fam's got it in that one. I don't want to spoil you guys with that one. But back straps, we got back straps for days around here. So I think we got to do some back straps over a fire.
Yeah, I think if we can keep them frozen or even semi-frozen all the way up to Sunday, Monday. Honestly, you could probably deer meat clear into the week. Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, we did that a year or two ago where we like paddled them in and they were still cold. We just put them down in the lake right on the edge of the lake water.
Yeah,
they were still cold a day or two later. So we'll pack in a couple back straps, and the first couple times we fry up fish, we'll have some back strap fried up with it. Be dandy.
Oh yeah,
cooking that over the fire. What are you most excited for this trip? Anything besides jigging for Lakers? Anything you're like jonesing for? I think we have like 2 more days this time. We're up there. We're paddling in Monday, paddling out Saturday. We got a full ass week.
Yeah, I'm honestly excited that I know what I'm getting into this time. Last time I had no clue whatsoever. So like my packing is a little bit different right now. Like I'm looking at it all laid out in front of me. Like I have way less shit this time. And then which
is funny because it is like 2 more days. I would argue you should probably have more shit.
Well, I noticed last time I was like, man, I wore like the same like outer layers almost every day. Yeah. And then like even like my pants and stuff, like I wore like for the most part the same pants or shorts every other day. Didn't need all this extra shit.
Same.
Just a whole bunch of dumb stuff that I really didn't need. So I'm going a little bit lighter this year. And
I have a hard time with that. I always struggle with like, what should I pack? Because I never want to be without like warm, dry clothes. And it gets cold at night. And this, like, I looked at the forecast. I think I sent it over to you guys. Not a shitload of rain, but like rain every day.
Yeah.
Which is actually like, as long as it's not big fronts, that's awesome for fishing. But we're gonna have the rain gear out a lot, I reckon. That's a big cat. That's a big cat you got there.
Big old bobcat.
Big old bobcat.
Yeah. He's camera shy.
Yeah. He just wants to snuggle.
Yeah, after you sent me that screenshot of the weather today, I was like, damn, I think I need to add in some more layers because I'm kind of like a cold person as it is. Even like as much as I love to spend time in the outdoors, like, dude, I get cold easy. So seeing that, like,
a bit of a sissy. You just got to drink more booze. Take a shot or two. That'll warm you up.
Yeah.
Joe said, Joe wanted to know what's the temp at night. I think it's mostly in the 40s. It's like
I saw like a mid 40s was our lowest, which isn't bad at all, honestly. Because like usually once it hits the lowest, it's gonna be like we're gonna be asleep at that point for the most part, and I'll be able to,
like I was gonna say that's actually when you're getting up in the morning. A lot of times when it's at its lowest is like when you're waking up at 6-7 a.m. and it's light out. That's when it's at its coldest.
Yeah. For the most part, it won't be bad. What I'm hoping is not bad is like cold is not bad, rain is not bad. Cold rain kind of sucks. Yeah,
cold rain, wind.
That kind of sucks. So I'm kind of hoping none of those collide.
Yeah. Joe said he's tenting tonight, 47. It's like I love sleeping when it's in the 40s and 50s, and you're just like curled up in a sleep bag. You can throw a hooded sweatshirt on or like a little winter hat on. It's like it is sleeping gets.
I had my sleeping setup like laid out yesterday. The pad.
Oh, did you?
My bivy, which I'm not bringing the bivy, but Whole thing was all set out, and I was like, damn, this is actually really comfortable.
Yeah, I might just fucking start sleeping in this every night.
Yeah, my girlfriend, she's like, well, that's where you're gonna go when you're in the doghouse. I was like, cool.
There you go. Yeah, sweet. I guess I'm gonna do some stupid shit to get my ass in the doghouse because this is pretty nice. I downgraded our tent. Maybe not downgraded. I lower sized our tent to a 4-person tent instead of an 8-person tent. Mostly because that 8-person tent is just a bitch to haul in there, and you and Tor don't need that big of a tent. I mean, I can see where you would say, I do. Let's get Tor way the fuck on the other side of that thing, because he's probably got his 8 chargers and he's watching a movie. Dude watches like a movie every night, or like movies all night. I don't think he sleeps. I think he's just like doing cocaine 100% of the time. Just, I don't know. I don't think he does, but that's his energy level. He's just like, we're gonna do shit. Except for when he slept out on the rock last year, when he went out and slept on the rock. Then
the one night I was sleeping, he come in and just like randomly grabbed his sleeping pad and his bag and everything, and like went right outside on the rocks by the water. I was like, oh, I'm sleeping here.
Yeah. My buddy Duke just said, I remember you strapping down the kayak to the reel stripper. That was a salmon boat. The reel stripper had a stripper icon on the side of it so that you knew that it was what a stripper is. Except Duke wrote reel striper. Duke's not like good at spelling stuff, but he spelled real right. He spelled real right for fishing purposes. We went 10 miles out on Lake Michigan, and I dropped in on the kayak off the back of the boat in 45, 50-degree water, trying to catch a salmon. I think it was like 5-foot waves that day, like rollers. And so I just paddled around out there. They floated me a beer back. So I just paddled around, drank a beer, paddled back up. But there was one time we hauled it out there, and I got in like 200 feet of water in the kayak with dipsies on each side trying to catch a salmon. No bites. I didn't get any bites. But that would have been pretty sweet. Like a Laker's cool. A salmon in a kayak would have been some dope ass shit. Would have been some dope ass shit. Yeah, salmon make Lakers feel like logs. Like Lakers are fun. Salmon are an ocean fish. So they're on another level. Last year, Tor was the only one that caught the lake trout. So I'm really jonesing. Like, I'm not going to do it every day, but any day where the weather's good, I'm going to be like pushing to head over to Winchell and try for some Lakers. I'm pretty determined to go get me some lake trout. Frankly, like, I think I'd rather eat a walleye. The lake trout are good and they're nice to like mix in, but walleye fried up are pretty damn solid. But just like,
hey, Dan, I got a question for you about walleye. I don't know if hopefully my girlfriend's listening. If you were to go to a restaurant,
is she still naked? Did you put clothes on yet?
I wish, but no.
I thought you said you were gonna go take the computer into the shower and ask her a couple questions.
I am. You ready for this?
Yeah.
She put clothes on though. Never mind. Not interested.
Yeah, she's fully clothed. So she's been giving me shit. We've been having this debate. So my uncle gave me some walleye.
What's she doing off the screen? Bring her in here. Let's get her in here. Let's see what let's have this 2-person discussion. It's not a debate because there's a right answer. Debates don't have a right answer. There'll be a right answer to this one.
I'll tell you the backstory about how we got to it. But so here's the best way I think.
Hold on. Have her grab you a beer. Do you even have a beer?
I do. Well, I know this looked like water, but it was beer.
Okay. Have her grab you another beer.
And then you can say hi.
Well, we got to have this debate. She's got to be here for this debate / discussion / right answer.
Hold on.
She says, hold on.
I'm ready for this.
She's got to get herself a beer, too. She's got to get herself a beer.
Well, while she's getting ready, I'll prelude the story here. Last week, my uncle was up in New York at Lake Chautauqua.
Is this your, for everybody else's sake, is this your uncle that once dove out of the truck and bare hand grabbed a turkey?
Yes. Yeah, same uncle. If you look up Greg Sigerfoos on YouTube, there's a video. I filmed him. Same thing. Everything. Both of these stories start with him and I going turkey hunting. But We were going
Yeah,
turkey hunting. He just like
Joe Deveneaux. If you haven't seen that video, Joe, you got to go YouTube Greg Sickafus, Sickkafoose. Probably the coolest last name in the history of last names. Like you got to go see Greg go grab a wild turkey. Fucking grabs it.
he caught it. And what's crazier, yeah, I'll probably ruin the story, but it ends up being a bearded hen too.
Yeah, like, and good job on you for filming it. I like you captured it well.
Yeah.
Duke said, as you're setting it up, I just keep interrupting you. Duke says, Jaska says she needs a beer to be on Plata TV. That's true. That she's talking about your girlfriend over there. She needs a beer to be on Plata TV. Zig says, have fun. Wish I could have made it next time. Zig will be in the OBO for sure. Outdoor Business Owners. I actually think Duke will be in as well. Duke doesn't own a business anymore. He got kicked out of it. AKA he sold it. But now Duke just works at a golf course doing whatever the fuck he wants. So I think Duke would be a good honorary former business owner in the Outdoor Business Owner group. Duke, you missed it. We're gonna have quarterly masterminds so we can tell our significant others that we're doing business stuff, but we're just quarterly gonna all go hunting and fishing together. And we'll talk about business stuff, but we're gonna do it in the context of hunting and fishing, not in the context of like business stuff. If that makes sense. Hunting and fishing being the priority. Duke did say lake trout are walleye pan grease. That's a good point. Frying up Lakers, it is a nice greasy. Oh, you know what? Another thing. Remind me. I'm gonna write it down. A really good way to make lake trout is Old Bay seasoning, that Tony Catcheries, whatever Cajun, and then just a bunch of butter in a pan.
What about like steaming them, like wrapping it in foil and kind of leaving some air and poking some holes in it?
We could do that. For sure. Like walleyes, I like fried, but when we've been on our salmon boat and caught a laker and you fry it up right away, just in butter and like some Old Bay seasoning, damn, that's super good. Little Cajun on top of it to give it some spice. The butter will be tricky. I think we can put the butter in the cooler with the frozen fish, or excuse me, with the frozen venison. That way the butter stays cold, doesn't melt all over the fucking place. And then we can do some trout that's not all fried up, not battered anyway. Yeah, we're doing that. That's happening. Anyway, you were setting it up. You guys were in New York doing some shit.
Yeah. I was not. My uncle was up in New York.
Greg was.
Up in Chautauqua. Yep, Greg was.
Hold on, I gotta cut you off again. Duke says he's in it to win it. Duke's in the OBO, honorary OBO member.
Oh yeah, the original board of directors setting it up.
Duke could be on the board. But I almost think he's too full of shit. That's probably good. That's probably actually good. Yeah. Be a good quality to have there. Yeah, Duke, Duke is the board of directors. Any trip needs to be approved by the Duke. He's in the one and only Mooreshaster's ice fishing video too. He made a cameo, like where a celebrity comes into a movie. Duke made a cameo in the Mooreshaster's ice fishing video, which you haven't seen yet because you haven't come out ice fishing to watch the whole Mooreshaster series.
No, I haven't.
Next year at the OBO ice fishing event, you'll be digging it.
I'm all in.
All right, New York turkeys.
Well,
go.
So he was up in New York fishing Lake Chautauqua. We have a camper up there, and he caught a bunch of walleyes and shit. And then he drove home. And that day, he was like, "You haven't killed a turkey yet? Let's go kill a turkey." So we turkey hunted all evening.
How far are you guys from New York? I feel like that's a long fucking ways.
Oh no, to Chautauqua is like 3 hours, 3.5 hours.
Man, I feel like I just like look at a map and I'm like, you guys must be 10 hours from New York. Like you got to go all the way across Pennsylvania. But I suppose there's like a finger of New York. You guys are Eastern Ohio.
Yeah, I'm north, like way northeast. So
yeah,
I'm up there a little ways. But
all right.
Yeah, it's only like 3.5 hours.
Is there so I heard this recently. I was talking to my dad about this because I'm just in the mood of interrupting the shit out of your story here. Upper New York, full of lakes, full of fish. Nobody's up there fishing them. Is that true?
Ontario, my dad and my uncle both, they go up there. They'll book places on Ontario every year for salmon.
Yeah.
They go up 2 or 3 times a year. But other than that, I don't know. There's the Finger Lakes are up there. It's where
I've heard there's a shit ton of good lakes up in like Upper New York, and nobody's up
Luke
there fishing.
Abbott, Auckland, he's up there.
Let's go fuck with Luke and tell him we're coming to pay him a visit, and then maybe he can come out fishing with us.
Business trip.
OBO.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so
Yeah,
Greg's got a boatload of walleyes, and he wants to go wrangle up a turkey with his bare hands.
Yeah. Drive straight home. He's like, you haven't killed a turkey yet? Sunday was the last day of turkey season. He's like, let's go. We're going to kill a turkey. And we damn near did. We came so close. And honestly, this bird was like coming in on a string. Full strut, coming right at us. And we were closing the distance on this bird like by 200 yards. And we got it into like 60, 70 yards at that point. Like I know it's committed. It's coming in. It's going to happen.
Do you have any decoys on, or are you guys just moving in, like crawling in on the ground?
We have the fans. That's all we use anymore is the tails.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Just moving the tails around, put them on like a bent coat hanger, and you can kind of move them around, and then just stick them in your feet. When they start getting real close, stick them in the ground in front of you, and then you can kind of use your toes, just wiggle it around.
Yeah.
But that's literally all we use. That and like it's just like a hen clucking on a slate call or something. It never fails. But
except
it
for
wasn't failing. No, it was. It was working. It worked too good because that bird that I was trying to kill was like 70 yards at this point, and I'm just waiting, just wiggling the fan every now and then, knowing it's coming in. Out of nowhere on my right at like 30 yards is a gobbler that just, we had no clue.
Like right in your ear, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, where'd that thing come from?
Yeah. He'd come in out of nowhere on our right, and it was like one of those things where I looked at him and he looked at me at the same time, and it spooked him. That motherfucker just took off running, and it spooked the entire field. It spooked the bird I was after. Like,
oh yeah, I bet he did the old like where we hear him like escalate, just and that's like the warning, like everybody fucking run, and they just gone.
Yeah, and of course the whole field fled except the hens in front of us. Just
yeah. What the hell are you all
5 yards? Yeah.
Oh,
but so anyways, we didn't kill a turkey, and I think he felt bad, and he was like, "Well, guess what? I got a whole bag of walleye for you." So
there you go.
From Chautauqua, so he gave me a bag of walleye, and I think now I need to ask the question: is if you were, and I'll say this because I know she's listening. You eat more walleye.
Hold on. What's her name so I can stop calling her your girlfriend?
It's Randy. R-A-N-D-Y. It's I.
Are you kidding?
Probably hear you. So you eat more walleye than anybody I know by far, I think.
Maybe.
If you were to go to a restaurant and order walleye, what's like the 2 things they would ask you if you wanted? Or are there 2 things?
Condiments.
What 2 condiments would you get with it?
They wouldn't even ask you. You would get some tartar sauce, and you'd get a lemon wedge. That's what you're going to get.
I'll accept it. So I'm right.
I don't.
A lemon wedge. I can see a lemon wedge. That'd be good. And this is fried walleye, right?
This is like anywhere, and even baked walleye. You're gonna get the same thing. You're gonna get tartar sauce and a lemon wedge. There's no other. They might ask you if you want like ketchup with your fries. You know, that'd be a thing. Probably have fries.
Further proves my point. Further proves me right. And like I said, you eat more walleye than anybody I know. So
why did Randy run away? Wasn't she supposed to be here for this?
Even my dog's pissed. She's in there. So I go to fry this walleye up, and she's like, "Well, where's the vinegar?" And I was like, "For what? Like, we're just making walleye here."
What are you in Europe? With vinegar? Who's having vinegar with anything these days?
Turn into this whole debate.
You
Like,
put some oil in there, and then you dip some fancy ass bread in there.
she thought it was the weirdest thing. Still thinks it's the weirdest thing ever that I've never heard of fried walleye in vinegar. And I think it's the weirdest thing that people get fried walleye in vinegar.
Are you sure? Are you sure she's a human? Is she not human? Is she something else?
I don't know. I don't ask questions.
All right, that's cool. Jaska and Duke. By the way, her name's not Jaska. That's just what Starbucks wrote on her cup one time. It's Jessica, but she goes by Jaska in these parts. She's counted 15 fucking F words so far. So that's pretty cool.
16.
Yeah. Well, who's counting? Duke said, Randy, baby. That was my best Austin Powers impression. And then Jessica says tartar sauce and French fries. I do think like pretty much any fish fry you go to in the Midwest, you're getting a lemon wedge. If we're up ice fishing, when we're up ice fishing, Red Lake, when you come next year, there's 2 bars that'll fry your fish for you. And it's good on 2 levels. One is like, it's awesome to go get a fish fry because fish fries are awesome. And because you need to go eat some fish so that you can catch more fish because you're going to hit your limit and you're going to be like, we need to go eat some of these so we can keep fishing. And when you get it there, they don't have a lemon wedge, but they're just bars. So there's no lemon wedge that comes with those. It's just tartar sauce. But I promise you, there ain't no damn vinegar in those joints. No vinegar around. There's no, unless they have it. Vinegar might be back with the cleaning supplies. But I'm not putting Lysol on my walleyes either. Vinegar is back with the cleaning supplies, right next to the Lysol.
I mean, I can see it. Like when I picture the taste, like you think of like French fries and vinegar, it's great. And walleye has that same like breading-ish texture on the outside. Like I could see it.
Should we pick up? You want me to put vinegar on my shopping list? I haven't gone grocery shopping yet. I still got to go buy all the shit. I can get you some vinegar.
Not really.
Should we we don't even have tartar sauce on our list. Should I put tartar sauce on the list?
Tartar sauce would be awesome. Yeah, we had some last year, I think.
Did somebody? I didn't bring any. Did somebody bring some?
Oh, I don't know what I was eating.
I don't even want to know anymore. It's probably just
I thought
walleye.
sure that's the only one with tartar sauce.
Somebody was just milking walleyes, and you were just dipping fried walleye and walleye jizz, I guess. But hey, it's like what was that movie? Kingpin, where he's like, "What you drinking? Milk." And he's like, "We don't have any cows. We got a bull." And then he's like, I think I'll go brush my teeth. Yeah, that's you. That was you last year. No, man, I'm super pumped. It's a weird vacation to look up to. This year, I've been so busy in our business and just trying to like organize and build that I haven't had time to like think and where you do that thing like before a vacation where you just obsess about it and get really excited about it. Like this trip is probably that trip of the year for me where I just get super pumped. It's everything. It's like hard work, a lot of drinking, a lot of fishing, a lot of eating shitty food, hanging out with like your best friends. It is my favorite trip. It's as good as it gets. I actually probably like it more than hunting trips because hunting trips have more ups and downs of excitement in them, more peaks and valleys. And this is just like constant awesomeness. Even when it's raining and shitty, like it's awesome. Even when you dump a canoe in 40-degree water and you're swimming for your life, it's awesome. It's just like rugged badassery and you're just doing sweet shit all the time. Even when you're cutting down a tree, even when you're taking a shit simultaneous to spraying yourself with off to get the mosquitoes off of you, it's awesome. You're just like out there doing the shit. In that case, literally, if you're taking a shit spraying off on you, you're out there doing the shit. But I've been just so busy like building the business, and I imagine you as well with like trying to restaff and train and build processes that I think like you're gonna get here and we're gonna go like, holy shit, dude! Like we're driving up, we're going up there, and we got a full week in the middle of nowhere, and the only thing our cell phone is there is for to take pictures. That's it. and it's gonna be something else. It's gonna be something else. I don't know if you know this, Cole. I think this is gonna be as exciting as anything. I bought 2 new lithium-ion batteries this year, so we don't have to carry a pack that's 40 pounds worth of lead batteries for the fish finders.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's real. I did that. I think 2 batteries in our canoe. I assume like you and I'll go together quite a bit, and Tor and Moose will go together, but Tor will probably jump in with me here and there to go catch him some fish here and there, and Moose might jump in. I don't know that Moose has ever got a I probably got Moose a Laker when we were out on Knife Lake. But I think we'll like bounce around a little bit, especially with there's 4 of us. But I fully suspect like we'll be going in together. And therefore, like we gotta make sure we get that pack. It's like 10 pounds lighter, 15 pounds lighter than it's been in the past. But nobody's gonna want to carry it because it's all gonna be like a reflection of past years. Like I'm not fucking carrying that dark green dry bag. I know what's in there. But now they don't know. They're going to think it's heavy as shit. We're going to be like, we got this one. Strategy.
I think it'll be smooth this year. With only 4 of us, we have less stuff, and we're a little bit smarter on what we're bringing in. As far as like, we're not bringing in a bunch of heavier stuff. We got newer equipment, lighter equipment.
I think you're wrong about that.
Except for the couch.
But here, like, and this is why I like a 6-man trip. And I was excited to do an 8-man. I think an 8-man would be sweet. I think an 8-man, the gear spreads out so much because so much stuff is community stuff. 4-man trips are a lot because it's like 3 trips every portage because we just have a lot of shit. The tarp and the tent are the same whether we have, granted this year will be lighter, but it's still a pack.
Still have it, yeah.
And it's still got to get across. I'm still going to bring the same number of fishing poles. Yeah, well, I'll probably do that ahead of time. I was gonna say like maybe I'll wait till you get here Saturday, but we're probably just gonna want to like drink and BS and not have to do work. We'll have time Sunday morning to get a bunch of shit backed up, but we'll still have a shitload of fishing poles because we're gonna want trolling rods and jigging rods and dipsy rods and all that stuff. We'll gear tie that stuff together. I don't think there's gonna be that much less gear. We're there for a week, so the booze bag is still gonna have 10 175s. I was trying to like do the math. Here's some funny math. Duke will appreciate this one. Duke also said douchebag walleyes, vinegar and water. I don't even know what that means, but that could be like a new saying. Douchebag walleye. We're having some douchebag walleye here with vinegar. He also thought this sounds a lot like Brokeback BWCA, which stands for Boundary Waters Canoe Area. And I don't know if Duke was on earlier, but if you see pictures of Tor, you're going to think it's just a gay fest. Like Tor's always running around with his shirt off. He's the straightest guy I know, but he's like so straight that he just doesn't have clothes on most of the trip. I've seen his ass more times than I'd like to see any dude's ass. And it's just kind of like, once you get to know him, you're just like, yeah, it's just Tor running around in the shortest shorts. Like last year, I don't know if we were alongside of you paddling in last year, Cole, when we were like snaking through that river going upstream, and the mosquitoes are terrible, but Tor and I just got the off out and just went to town, like head to toe. Sorry, I banged my microphone with this pen. Tor and I are paddling up creek, going up the river here, and a dude comes like floating down towards us, and he is covered head to toe in those mosquito nets. And Tor is wearing no shirt with the shortest shorts ever. And he's just like, "What's up? How's it going? How are the?" And like Tor can't have. And Tor wants to get to know everybody's life secrets in 5 seconds. He's the biggest Labrador on the planet. He's like, I got to get to know this guy. I want to find out everything about him. I'm going to sniff his butt. We're going to see what's going on. And so like Tor's like BSing with this guy for the 10 seconds that the guy's going past us. And afterwards, Tor just looks back at me and he's like, what do you think that guy was thinking? Covered head to toe in mosquito nets. And I'm just sitting out here with no clothes on. Like, dude probably couldn't even see that Tor had shorts on. Probably thought Tor was naked. Like, of all that guy could see when you're sitting in a canoe. And that's just what you get with Tor. So Brokeback BWCA, you know, I'm not going to say it is, but I'm not going to say if you saw it, you wouldn't be like, yeah, that's probably what's going on out there. Don't judge. What happens in BWCA stays in BWCA, except for the cool stories that we want you to know. On the gear side of things, though, Cole, I think we're going to have a whole lot of shit. We have an inflatable couch. That's going to be awesome and going to suck at the same time. We still got a big-ass tarp. And the big-ass tarp is the same whether you got 4 guys, 6 guys, or 8 guys. Less chairs. Less,
Yeah.
but a lot of booze because now it's 5 days. So, this is what I was going to say. On the booze side, last year, we didn't consume it all. We like dumped a little bit of it out, which I was embarrassed about, but we were only really there for like 3 full days. And this year we're there for 5 full days. So it's a little bit different. I guess not 5 full days, 4 full days, but Monday will also be there like most of the day because it's a shorter wait. I think we had 10 175s last year for 6 guys, but Clay doesn't drink and Ben didn't drink a whole lot. Like Aaron drank quite a bit. But
see, I don't feel like I drank a whole lot either, honestly.
Tor drinks the most. Like that dude's just slugging stuff.
Yeah.
He goes after it. I go after it pretty hard. Moose goes after it pretty hard too. And Moose wasn't there last year. So Aaron drank quite a bit, but now Moose has taken his spot. Ben didn't drink a whole lot last year. Clay doesn't drink at all. I think we need the same amount of booze, if not more than we had last year, because we're there for an extra day and a half.
Yeah.
So I think like everything's going to be, we're going to have a lot of gear. We're going to be busy.
Is it going to be, are we doing, I forget, I don't know. Did we even talk about it in the group chat? Are we doing like some 151 and Mio and Lake Water again?
Here's my plan. Clear rum, like Bacardi rum, is I think the best thing to have up there because we're just a bunch of fucking pirates for one, so we need rum. It just mixes the best with water flavoring stuff. Like vodka's got a hard to it, and I think vodka fucks you up a little bit more, whereas rum is a little bit more of an upper. Tequila's good, but tequila's got more flavor to it and just doesn't mix as well. I'll bring some tequila because I am a tequila dude. So clear liquor mixes the best because you're constantly mixing it with like this water flavoring electrolytes and lake water. I'm going to bring some, I got to find it, but I want to find some like Jeremiah weed or anything that's like a sweet tea vodka. And then I'll bring some country time lemonade powder. And that's awesome to have, especially when you get like sunny days out there, is a little sweet tea lemonade type of thing. And then for the rainy days, like there's some colder rainy mornings there. So I've got a bunch of Fireball, apple cider. And that's a good, like, it's cold out, it's windy, it's rainy. Let's get some fucking apple cider going. Let's get some Fireball going. Little hot cocktail to go. We do need to have cards. I feel like cards and dice, we fucked up last year, but Ben brought board games. So I remember there was one time last year, like out on the rocks, we were literally like out there playing a damn board game. Which that reminds me, I got to bring that. Duke says cocaine is the best upper. Yeah. So whoever's in charge of the cocaine.
I will cover all the lakes.
Yeah.
Trolling at 4 miles an hour.
Oh, I gotta send. Let me see here. Hold on one second.
I can bring in media or trivia.
Do you have it?
I do.
Oh, dude, that would be really fun. Bring that shit. Let me.
It's pretty bulky. I might just bring a couple like packs of the cards.
Oh, really?
Kind of.
How's it bulky? Like, what's bulky about it? I wouldn't expect it to be bulky.
It's right here, actually. Maybe it ain't bulky, but...
Well, you just turned into like a super Sasquatch. I feel like you could pack that.
Yeah, I was just thinking in terms of like I gotta fly. But
Yeah, actually, and like just a couple sets of cards. Is it good for four folks when you got one person having to read it?
It has this little case thing inside of it. I was thinking of just putting some cards in here.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And
What's up, fellas?
You bought a building? You bought one? You
I
own
bought,
the
a,
shit.
I bought a building, even though the trucks were on fire in the parking lot earlier in the day.
So those weren't your trucks. Those were whoever owned it previously. Those were their trucks.
Yeah, they were the seller's trucks that he had apparently sold and is no longer able to sell them.
Oh man, that sucks for him.
Yeah.
That's a good day for you and a bad day for him.
Yeah, I mean, it was very close to a bad day for everybody because had those trucks been like 10 feet closer, probably the whole building would have gone.
Those things were smoked too. They're like,
Dude.
those things look like they went through some shit.
Yeah, there's going to be an arson investigation. It's going to be interesting to see how all that plays out. So,
Yeah, I suppose.
because I mean, they've been sitting there for like probably 2-3 months, and like they were both parallel to each other, and then one of them got turned around sometime today, and then they just happened to catch fire. So
That is weird.
interesting.
Dave Jensen checking in says, "What's up, fellas? What's up, Dave? Dave, we should probably Dave needs,
TT says hi.
Dave needs to be on the show. We need Dave on here sometime." I wonder. I mean, it smells a lot like that dude couldn't sell
Burnt
those
diesel.
things. Said that they needed that somebody wanted to buy them and then lit them on fire to make it seem like he had them almost like, oh my god, I was just about to sell them. So
Yeah.
it smells like me.
It's weird,
I
but
smell weird things. Look at this other guy, Trevor William Steele. He's in the house. Trevor is already set up to come on the show. I don't know. We got a date in the future. Trevor and I have a future date. He's gonna be on the show.
is it
Trevor,
a
I
mandate?
don't know. Yeah, it'll be a mandate. I don't know. I think I got to get on Trevor's show too at some point. We're gonna do a podcast swappy swap. I don't know if we have a date to do his podcast, but we got a date to do mine, and it's in the future. So Rob, here's the setup, Rob, to get you back caught up on the convo. Cole and I are just talking about our Boundary Waters trip coming up, which I invited you on. You can't come on
Next year, 2025.
I'm gonna. Here's the thing. We're starting up the OBO, Outdoor Business Owners, and it's an outdoor business mastermind with no specific business purpose other than business owners doing shit outdoors in a type of event where you don't need a specific amount of expertise. Like I think there's a lot of like hunting.
Bullshitting is required though.
Bullshitting probably is some drinking. You don't have to drink. But like, there's probably gonna be a lot of people drinking and indulging and stuff, and that's a thing we like to do when we're like in a safe place to do it. We're not doing it like with guns, but we're definitely doing it with fishing rods. I know that. No, that's gonna happen. And so the idea being like the best times at conventions and any other mastermind is just after the articulated things when it's more of a free for all and we're just hanging out, BSing and talking business stuff, which we're gonna do anyway, right? And so ice fishing, Boundary Waters, maybe a fall duck hunt, maybe a different like an ocean fishing thing or whatever. There's Joe Devino brought up earlier
in Salisbury.
Yeah. Let's do it. We can do a Salisbury one. We got Joe had brought up like a bear hunt in Canada would be a fun one to do where you can do it like guided, right? There's gonna be some money involved to pull it off. But the premise would be like not a specific mastermind, no like business agenda besides we're going to take a few days, all hang out together, do some outdoorsy shit, and we're going to try to facilitate it in a way that we all get to hang out. So like be tough to do a white-tailed deer hunting event because you're isolated and you're like sitting in a tree.
What should I do about this P&L situation I have right now?
Yeah.
Shut up, bro. There's a deer.
There's a big buck back here, but really like my fucking P&L, man.
It was the best business trip ever, but we shot nothing.
But like a duck hunting trip would be fun because you can do like a duck blind and you're all in there BSing, and then somebody's like, "There's some fucking ducks." Boom. Yeah, and you're all like, "Keep me quiet for 5 seconds," and we'll all pretend like we're hiding. Okay.
I mean, it could be like in Wedding Crashers when they go like, was it quail hunting, and they're just walking along and then like shoots the guy.
We could do a pheasant hunting one.
Yeah, there we go.
A little South Dakota, Iowa pheasant hunting trip would be kind of fun.
Way that you started the OBO reminds me of old school and their fraternities. Like, we will give nothing back to the community. We will do no good deeds. We will have crap grades. Like, we're just here to party. Got it.
Nailed it. Duke was on the pheasant hunting bandwagon. He said, "Bang some cocks at Rice Creek." Cocks being male pheasants for those that are judging. Pull your head out of there. We're talking about pheasants. But I think that'd be fun. Duke actually, Rob, to catch you up more. Duke is the board of directors. He had a business doing metal stamping stuff. He sold his business.
So he's the OBO.
What did I say? It just says WTF plot of Rice Creek. Did I say something other than Rice Creek? What did I say?
You said fly lice.
Fly lice. So yeah, Duke is the OG. He is the board of directors. He's retired. Now he works at a golf course doing whatever he wants. But he decided not to go to the Boundary Waters too. He was like you, Rob. He's like, no, sounds awesome, but no. We had a lot of those. So now it's just a 4-man trip. And so literally tonight's episode was Cole and I just hanging out, BSing about how excited we are to go into Boundary Waters and how fucking lame the rest of you guys are that you're not going to.
So it's you two. Is Seth still going?
Seth is out. Seth had a daddy-daughter dance thing pop up, and he was like, I can't not do kiddo stuff, family stuff, and so I'm staying home. And I said, that's a tough one. I'd feel like you're in a it's a funny like win-win, lose-lose. You're giving up a lot either way, but I totally get as a dad, like you got to do kiddo stuff when you have a chance to do kiddo stuff. And so that's a shitty one because it's not like, oh, I didn't know. It's like, oh, it just came up, and here's the date, and now
it just came up because his wife has probably told him 10 times, and he's forgotten all 10 times, and then he was like,
I'm sure. Yeah,
that's the same day. Shoot.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. We've got Ellie turns 18 next week. Graduation's tomorrow. Graduation party Saturday. And I was like, yeah, that won't work out because I'd already missed. Like we were in, we were at the Conquer Summit for when Brooke turned 18. It was like, hey, happy birthday. We're leaving town the day before your birthday, so surprise, you get to babysit your siblings.
Like, you're gonna love it.
You're an adult, so be a mom.
Yeah. But this is just birth control. Don't have any kids for a while. This is what happens. Then the only reason you would have kids is to watch your other kids. Right? That's the only reason you'd have some kids. But no, it'll be a lot of fun. And I think the OBO, it'll be a thing that we work on while we're up in the Boundary Waters as part of the not mastermind. But we've got 5 days sitting up there, drinking too much, eating too much, probably too much tobacco in. I don't know who's going to bring the marijuana this year. Usually there's some marijuana flying around. There's some gummies and stuff. I'm going to have to think about that. I didn't really think about that. I've never bought it in my life. It's legal in Minnesota to buy it. And so I might need to procure some gummies or
I can bring some. We may have some TSA issues, but I can bring some.
I think I should get it or Moose should get it. Somebody should get some because we might. That's probably the thing that's going to happen. That's good. That's a good trifecta of influences between tobacco, alcohol, and marijuana. Then we've got the 3-legged stool. Like you never want a 2-legged stool. That doesn't work. A 4-legged stool is not the most secure. A 3-legged stool is the most stable. Mm-hmm. So, like, just stability. And it makes a fish fry taste super good.
A tripod makes the fish fry taste really good.
Yeah. But back to the OBO. I think that's the cadence that I can contribute is we'll host an ice fishing event every year. We'll host a Boundary Waters event every year. The duck hunting thing, I don't know anything about. If anybody's down in like Louisiana, right? That's what they call it, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, somewhere down there. I feel like is where they got the huge duck lodges where you like go into a big ass fort and the blinds flip open and you're just all hanging out in there like grilling food and being cool. I think that's the type of duck hunting situation we got to get ourselves into.
When you come down here, man, and granted, all of my outdoor stuff is with the one and only Dan. But there's a ton of duck hunting. There's a ton of waterlands, or not waterlands, good wetlands, shit. And then obviously you've got the entire Atlantic Ocean. So it's 30
I
minutes to the
think
bay.
you guys
30
have
minutes to the
you guys have sea ducks up there, which is a
Mhm.
whole different ball game compared to waterfowl.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of Canadian geese that need to be shot.
We can get those. We can
'Cause
cook
every-
those up good.
We could probably just get those with like bow and arrows.
Joe is the president. Joe Deveneaux is the president of the East Coast chapter. He doesn't know it. He doesn't know it, but Cole suggested we have chapters for different regions. Jeremy Jennings is the president of the
He's got the
Pacific
West
chapter.
Coast.
Yeah, he's the West Coast Pacific chapter. I'll be
Cali
the Northern Midwest. Cole's got the what did you call Ohio? The armpit. Cole's in charge of the armpit.
He's the bottom of the lakes.
Northeastern.
Northeastern, but I feel like somebody's gonna be
I
up in
guess-
like upper
yeah.
New York, Maine. Somebody's gonna be more northeastern than you. I
Maybe
think
New
you're just the
England.
armpit. Like you're not quite the Midwest and you're not quite the East, so you're just the armpit. So Cole's got the
Middle.
armpit region. We need somebody. What we really need is like a Mountain West. We need somebody in charge of Mountain West. That could handle a Mountain West event. I don't know what it would be because I think that would be just a hard event to pull off. Like out in the mountains, that's a pretty rugged event. It'd be like a smaller group, but
It'd have to be like a whitewater raft and like a fly fishing, like river related thing or something on the mountains.
yeah, you could pull
That'd be a
something,
blast.
pull something like
If
that.
I'm
It's gotta
not
be better than
mistaken, I think Joe owns property in Colorado. Deveneaux.
You don't say. My
He
brother,
might be the VP coordinator for another area then.
yeah, he'll be the de facto. What's the thing called where like you have a country that has a domicile thing in another country? The thing where they can like hang out.
Reciprocity? No.
Idiocracy.
Yeah, me being stupid and not knowing words is what you call it. No, they have their like embassy. They have the Joe Deveneaux Western Embassy, where like you're welcome there, even if you're not a resident. So we'd have the Joe Deveneaux Embassy. You could probably get us state tags, like resident price tags, because we'd have an embassy, rather than having to pay for out-of-state tags, right? Out-of-state tags are a bitch. We want to buy in-state tags. We need an embassy.
Yeah, we need a buyer and a supplier.
We need an embassy.
And name tags.
No lanyards though. Fuck lanyards. We're doing the magnet thing. We're doing the magnets on the either side.
So I bought like a little LED name tag. It was like full RGB, but like, of course it's on Amazon. You're like, oh, well, I can get 2 of these for $9. So this will be super high quality. Yeah, I meant to use that at Clipicon and just didn't get that set up. But
oh, that's a
you'd be
bummer.
like,
That would have been.
I got to have a blingy name tag. So,
I mean, is it sweet or is it chintzy?
it's all right. It wasn't.
It's good
I didn't
enough.
bust it out at Clipicon, so we'll just.
If
leave
it
right
was
there.
that sweet, you would have made a point to bust it out.
Yeah.
All right. No, I'm pumped for a little outdoor adventure, and I do. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but I think this is the perfect type of getaway for a business owner where you really like get away because it's too easy to jump back in otherwise, and isolate yourself and really see if the business is built the way you want it built. And it's a little bit of a test. Does your business have what it takes? Does it have the systems and processes that it takes? So if anything, OBO is a test. It's not necessarily meant to improve your business practices, although it'll be a great idea generator and you'll leave with awesome shit that you want to go implement. But at the same time, it's a test of your business processes. Can your business live without you when you're totally unplugged? Because we're going to places where you don't have cell reception, ideally. Although when we go ice fishing, like
The difference in signal from
time
our ice house or your ice house to the other one was like, you have left the world. Hey, by the way, we do have Wi-Fi still in this thing 15, 20 feet late.
that was goofy.
Awesome.
I've never run into that before, but
Dude, one of my buddies, we were talking about, he does like a outdoor, he was doing a 25-mile hike in New Hampshire, in like negative 35 degree temps.
That's
And I'm like,
cold.
I was like, man, wait a second. It was like 9 and that sucked. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
actually,
Like,
that sounds a lot like the wind chill when you and I ran down the dish tub that had gone 300 yards out. So Cole, when we were out there this winter, the temp was actually like mostly okay, but it was windy as fuck. I mean, like 20
Yeah.
mile an hour sustained winds out on the top of the ice sheet, where there's like 20 miles an hour when you're on land and there's hills and there's trees is a lot different than 20 miles an hour on a
just
sheet of
full
ice,
bore.
where for the 20 miles that the wind is coming from, there's nothing. It's just a sheet of ice. So
Yeah.
like it's as straight line of a wind as you can get. It's more straight line than being in Iowa. And I woke up and I was going to start making breakfast, and I looked outside and I was like, where did the fucking dishes go? Because I have a Rubbermaid tub with a bunch of dishes in it. I just leave it sit outside the fish house because I'm like, it's not going to blow away. It's pretty heavy. And I look down and I'm like looking by other fish houses, and I'm like, there's a generator. There's the generator, because a lot of people put their generators in like big Rubbermaid totes so they don't freeze up.
Yeah.
And I'm looking, I'm like, there's a generator that's not by a fish house. That looks more like my dish tub. So Rob and I go run, like, I think you had your 360 camera, didn't you, Rob? You had a camera.
I didn't have a 360 yet. I had my
Was it the
GoPro
drone?
on time lapse for us
Oh, yeah.
running all the way down there.
Yeah. And so we
It's
like,
like a
it
ridiculous
was like
video.
a couple hundred yards. The way there was with the wind. The way back was against the wind, to the point where it was like you had to turn around and back into it. I bet it was going at 30. I bet it was
Yeah.
a 30 mile an hour wind that morning. It was just
Well, and of course,
crazy blowing.
Of course, with that wind and the temperatures, it's like, I'm great. Let me just go run outside. I won't be outside that long. And then you're like, oh shit, this is taking longer than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, I thought we'd be out here for like a minute or two. Turns out we're out here for like 10, trying to get way down there and then get way back.
Oh yeah, and then it's like,
we did get.
I didn't need to bundle up. I'm tough. Let me go out here. And then you're like, oh, yeah.
I should have wore a lot of layers.
Yeah.
At least a wind breaking layer. Speaking of which, Cole, bring some like it doesn't need to be the thickest shit, but just shit that breaks the wind. I think that's some good Boundary Waters shit. Rain gear is actually probably like the best wind breaking
and
gear
break
is.
wind.
Yeah, break that wind. No, I haven't started packing a lick, which makes me a little bit nervous. I haven't grocery shopped. I haven't bought the booze. I haven't started packing the thing. I've got all the packs, and I have everything we need that I can think of, but I haven't started finding it all. So Saturday night when you get here might be a fucking mad dash. At least like Sunday, we don't really need to leave until like midday or even early afternoon. We're not in a huge hurry. So at least we'll have time to like procure shit we need to procure, pack up whatever's not packed up. Tor and Moose can get over to our house. We'll leave from here. We can all fit in one truck, get all the gear in there. But I feel like I'm usually more prepared by now. And maybe it's just that now I know exactly what we need. And so once you've done something 10 times, you don't like pack in anticipation. You're just like, I know what we need. I'll get it. But I'm really trusting that instinct this year. Like normally by now I got the packs like all out. I got the groceries done. Everything's laid out. This time I'm just like, I got this. So we'll see. When we get up there. Now normally my mantra is I got this, and if I don't, I have a credit card. But in the Boundary Waters, that doesn't work so well because when you get up there, there's just nothing fucking there. So you kind of have.
You just need those Amazon drones to just drop ship you stuff.
I don't know. You don't have any cell reception, so it's hard to do an Amazon order. You're just out in the middle of nowhere.
Listen. Bezos knows what you need. It'll just show up. It'll be like the Hunger Games. It'll just.
I was listening. Cole, have you listened to the Meat Eater podcast about the gals that got attacked by an otter? Have you listened to that one?
I did not. I skipped over that one.
I've been listening to it while I've been working out this week, just as some listening, and super interesting story actually. But one of the things that they said is they were out where they didn't have any cell phone reception, and so they did the SOS thing on their cell phone in an area where they didn't have cell reception, and it came in perfectly clear. So if we run into a situation where we like run out of Cajun fish fry batter, we can just SOS. And then we'll but we got to be like, oh my God, we're dying. Oh, we ran out of supplies and we were marooned.
We're dying for some fish fry.
And when you come, like, drop off a basket of Cajun shore lunch. Like, that is what we need from a first aid standpoint to get through the rest of our trip, or we will not survive. You don't need to touch down. You can put it out on land. Just send us the Onyx pin of where you were when you dropped it. And like, we're healthy enough to go find it. We're just not healthy enough. We won't survive the next day to paddle out of here if you don't drop us a little more Cajun shore lunch. We'll just do the SOS button.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad we're on the same page with that.
I didn't know the cell phone one worked like an SOS, like worked with no service.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally bought this.
It allows you to connect to the
$400 device
7G
for
network.
no freaking
Yeah, you got
reason.
the InReach Mini when you have an SOS on your cell phone. I think the nice thing about the InReach though is like your cell phone battery might not be charged, but the InReach battery stays for a long time, and you can text from it, and you can do some other shit from it from a communication standpoint that you can't do from a cell phone. So I think it's still useful. The problem I run into is I sign up for it, I have one, and I pay the monthly dues, and then I never fucking use it. It's like insurance. It's just the stupidest thing. It's like I just don't.
I just paid for the 1 month. I have it all of June. So
I should have done that. What the fuck is my problem?
yeah.
Damn it.
Gotta love those subscriptions.
They got me. Well, boys, you guys got any other things to talk about? I think I've talked about all the shit that I want to talk about. I'm just pumped for this trip. I'm pumped for a week off / a week of just exile with buddies, drinking too much, eating too much, fishing not enough. There's never enough fishing. We're gonna slam. But it's a trip I look forward to a lot. You guys got any final thoughts, comments, questions?
Hope to be there next year.
Fuck yeah. OBO, baby.
I think it helped me close a deal today.
Tell that story really quick, because I think this is like a funny sales story.
So we've been working on this big this permanent lighting job. It's like 1,700 feet of permanent lighting for this plaza. It's going to be like it's a little over $40,000. And I've been trying to get this guy to like sign the contract. Like he said he's willing to do it. I just need him like give me that signature, give me that deposit.
When the salesperson on this job, was it Cole Sycophus or was it the Cole Sycophus?
That was Cole Sycophus. That wasn't the Cole Sycophus.
Yeah, that is a tough.
The Cole Sycophus would have blown it.
You think the would have blown it? He would have been too aggressive. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
This here. Yeah.
Sign this while I have you in a headlock, you little bitch. Sign it.
He's a little aggressive.
Yeah, I
but
see
yeah,
that.
Long story short, I've been trying to get it out of this guy for like 2-3 weeks now. I've been trying to get it, and I called him today, and I was like, "Hey, man, I just want to let you know, like, not trying to be pushy. I'm going to be out of town all of next week. If you want to try to meet up before this Friday, that'd be ideal. If not, it's going to be middle of June until I can get this purchase order for these materials in place." And he's like, "Oh yeah, no, we can maybe try to do something. We'll see here. I'm so busy right now," and yada yada. And he was like, "Well, where are you going?" And I told him we're going to the Boundary Waters. He was like, "No shit." He's like, "I have a house right outside the Boundary Waters." And
where? I mean, the Boundary Waters are pretty wide. Like, where's he at?
Let's
go like give him a case of Busch Light on his doorstep.
I didn't know really enough to be like, "Oh yeah, that area or this area." I know Ely or Eli. I don't even know how you pronounce it.
Sure.
I know that town.
Yeah.
And then the vast bodies of water north of there. So
sounds about right.
Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, we try to do a trip every year," and we talked about that for like 25 minutes. And I told him what we were trying to go to Gaskin and Winchell, and last year went to Lac LaCroix and Nina Moose or something like that. I think Nina Moose, and he was like, oh, he knew exactly what I was talking about. And then by the end of the call, he was like, yeah, anyways, man, yeah, let's meet up Friday. I'll get 20% down for you. We'll get this signed. I was like, okay.
It is funny when you just find like and it doesn't outdoorsy stuff is just an example, but it doesn't have to be outdoorsy. It's just like when you find the level footing with somebody. Yeah, when you can engage in that, it's like it's done. That's it. That's all you need. They just need to know you're a real human and you're not just trying to sell them some shit. You're just trying to help them out, and then the deal's done. As soon as they know you're just trying to help them, the deal's done. So
yeah, which is totally fair in his point because we've never done permanent lighting yet. And
yeah,
I've been bullshitting my way through this entire sale, but
that's
$1,700.
That's how you get. That's how you get started. Fucking go get it. You got that. We'll talk about it in the Boundary Waters.
Yeah,
it'll be a great place to talk about it. Rob will be there next year. Next year we'll do the 8-man tent. Somebody's carrying that 8-man tent all the way fucking back there. If Danny Lear's there, we'll make Danny carry it because he'll just be like, yeah, Danny can carry that shit.
Yep,
loves doing that. Loves doing that.
Danny, are you sure you can carry this? What? I don't know.
I'm gonna squat it. I'm gonna lunge it the entire 3/4 mile portage. I'm gonna do lunges all the way just to fucking show you guys. No, I'm pumped for the trip. I'm bummed. I'm bummed that we don't have more people on it. Like, I wanted an 8-person trip. I think 8 would be so fun. We're gonna do eventually. Like, this trip's gonna be like 2 8-man groups, like, which is as big as you can get at a campsite. I think you can do 9 at a campsite, but like 9's awkward. It's 2 people in a canoe. 9 gets awkward. You don't want to be the 9th wheel. You know, nobody wants to be the 9th wheel. So we'll kind of my intent of the OBO is that we get these events posted. Like, we have a place we can go. We can post an event and say, here's when it's happening. Here's the number of people. Here's the minimum to do the event. Here's like, oh, we just lost Cole. His internet went out. But for the rest of you, the OBO, here's the number of people. Here's the max. Here's the min. Sign up. If you sign up, you got to pay whatever deposit so that the fees are covered to go do the thing where we're going to do the thing. And then we just go do it. Rob, thanks for jumping on, man. It's always fun to see you. What do you got?
Ah, shit.
It does that thing. Hold on. No, now Cole came back in because he's just doing weird shit over there. I don't know what he's doing. What were you showing? Explain what was on your screen, Rob.
So I'm gonna hold it really close to my face. You won't be able to see it. Let's see if I can try. Nope.
No, it just knows immediately. It's like, nope, background it.
Oh, I see it. That's a fire.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Here we go.
That's the trucks.
There we go.
Trucks.
That's
Holy
one of the trucks
shit.
from today.
Yeah, that's some arson shit.
Dude, like, what I love the amazingness of, like, fire just is like, I don't care. I don't care what you got in here. Like, these are like 2, maybe 3-year-old reefer trucks that have been sitting on the property for 3 months.
Yeah,
I mean, I was supposed to settle on April 19th, like right after we got back from Sales Boost or whatever. Nope. It's taking a bit longer. And then, like, literally today at like 11 o'clock, and like we had this Facebook page, Eastern Shore Undercover, guy who just like sits there and listens to the police scanners and stuff like that. And one of our clients like, yeah, there was a fire like right on 50 out in Hebron. And she's like, oh, well, that's, it's not us, and it's like, oh, yeah,
that's us.
That was our spot. And it's, it's funny because like we're sitting around the table with all the people going to settlement, and it's like, so I mean, I'm good with buying the building and all. Like, we do need to have a clause that, like, one, they're taking care of cleaning this up. Like, and it's not like they have to remove the trucks. 2, they have to clean up the trucks. And 3, because apparently the trucks were sold, I need something that protects me from a lien on this property, because, like, whatever is going to be interesting, because, we've probably had that vehicle that you're like, all right, I'm done. I've turned in the tags. We're canceling the insurance. It's just sitting there. I'm waiting for Cole to buy it. And then Cole buys it, gives me money. And then all of a sudden it catches fire.
Then it starts on fire.
and then you're like, oh snap, I should have paid the $18 a month to Geico. You know, like so.
It's a weird situation.
Yeah.
As the dust settles, this is gonna be a podcast episode in and of itself.
Yes.
Do like a full miraculous random event podcast. We'll do an episode on that.
Yeah, there were lots of dad jokes. Fire sale, the dust is settling, and smoke too. Yeah.
But congrats on your new building.
Thanks, man.
It's fucking cool.
Yeah,
cool. Cole, congrats on you leaving on Saturday. Let me know when the hell you're getting here, and I'll come pick you up from there.
6 o'clock. I looked.
6
I'll be in Minneapolis. Presuming I don't miss my flight, I'll be there at 6 o'clock.
We'll eat some dinner once you get here. We'll stop somewhere and grab some shit on the way back. No, we shouldn't do walleye. We're gonna eat plenty of that. We should not do fish. We should do like burger somewhere because we're gonna
definitely get tilapia or salmon just so you can really appreciate it. Go to Long John Silver's for a real fish fry beforehand.
Fuck that.
Just wrap it up in a Ziploc bag and see if it's still good.
Yeah, we're gonna go get some free tartar sauce. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go load up on free tartar sauce. One time I went in through DQ and I got a little chicken strip basket. And they're like, "What do you want? What kind of sauce do you want with it?" And I said, "I want as much barbecue sauce as you can give me without you getting fired." And I don't, maybe this person just didn't like their job that much, but they gave me like a half a bag full of barbecue sauce packets. Like it was a great, which like was good. Like their barbecue sauce is just totally fine, and that was great barbecue sauce packets to have for a long ass time. It was super legit.
Did you just tell them that it was for a cop?
I want a large farva. I want a large plata. Anyway, dudes, thank you guys for jumping on. Cole, I'll see you in like 3 days, 2 days, 3 days, 3 days, 4 days, 3 days, 2 days, somewhere around there. Boundary Waters. Maybe once we get back, we'll get Tor on here. We'll get Moose on here. We'll do a recap episode if we have time. If we got some cool stories to tell, I'm sure we'll have some cool stories to tell. Looking forward to that. No podcast next week. No radio show. No late night show. We're gonna be out in the middle of fucking nowhere. And you guys get your Wednesday nights back. We get a lot of fish fries and a lot of booze and some tobacco and some marijuana, like we talked about earlier. Until then, work harder. No, work smarter and work harder. Earn yourself some pride. Good night.
Good night.